Banking Bits and Bytes with Brendan. Is that what we're doing here? Welcome to Banking Bits and Bytes with Brendan. I'm Brendan, and this is the complete cloud class to collect cloud clout quick. So what is the cloud? If you're a 5-year-old, you're asking, what is the cloud? Think of the cloud as just somebody else's data center that you don't have to manage. When you sign up for these services, you choose which of your workloads, your applications run in the cloud, and somebody else figures out how to make all of the compute and storage and connectivity all work for you. The question still comes up, so what is the cloud? The simplest way to think of it, instead of you having to buy a bunch of equipment and put it in your institution and figure out proper power and cooling for it, you send it somewhere else. The simplest definition of that is you could send your equipment to a co-location, but as it gets more sophisticated, you're just signing up for cloud services from a provider like Microsoft Azure. The word cloud is kind of nebulous. It can mean a few different things. Generally, everyone's familiar with the fact that today your equipment is on-prem. From there, you can go to a few different definitions of the cloud. You can think of if you move your equipment to a nice facility, a co-location, that's your first stop on the way to the cloud. This is where we've got reliable power and cooling for you. But if you want to go even further, you can move to what's generally referred to as infrastructure as a service. This is where there's no more servers involved. You're accessing the hypervisor from a third-party provider, and you build your Windows environment and applications on top of that. One step more advanced than that would be platform as a service. This is where we're able to eliminate the Windows layer altogether. An example of that is if you need a SQL database server for a lending application, say. You can just have an instance of SQL exist in the cloud. Now that the Windows layer is gone, that's one less thing that you have to patch and manage. Eventually, all of our applications will probably end up as software as a service, where it's fully hosted by a cloud provider, and you may be using nothing but a browser on the workstation end of things. But financial institutions are familiar with software as a service because they've been consuming their core services that way for many, many years. When people ask how does cloud security compare to if I just kept the stuff in the bank, it's understandable a lot of people feel more comfortable when they can see the equipment in the room next door, but that's an illusion of security. At this point, running stuff in your own building for the sake of security is the equivalent of your customers storing their money in the cookie jar instead of putting it in your bank.
Jag är rätt och